Hey everyone, happy January. I'm so glad you could join us today. I hope you had a great new year, spent time with family, relaxed, and enjoyed it. I want to talk today about the idea of spiritual formation for the population that we're serving, for those with special needs, which is an interesting topic in my mind because the idea of spiritual formation is kind of hard to narrow down an idea or a definition that kind of fits so broadly. But when I say spiritual formation, I mean the process that the community of believers, a community of Christ followers, is formed to the image of Christ, formed to the image of God, for the sake of community and for the sake of God's glory. When you take that idea and that concept and you apply it to the special needs population, I think we take a difficult step because everything else that we've done has been on this case-by-case, individualized basis. And then you broaden the perspective to this idea of community. And it can be easy to go, well, I don't see how these two can reconcile each other. I don't see how these two can fit. It can be kind of confusing, especially when all of the people that we serve are so different. So what does it look like for our students, the people that we serve, our families, to take steps towards Jesus and to be formed to His image for the sake of the community and the sake of His glory? What does that look like, and how do we define it, and then how do we go about doing it? And that's the challenge that we're faced on a week-to-week basis, is defining that and then executing it. What does it look like, and then how do we go about doing it? And so, put simply, I would like to define spiritual formation for those with special needs is taking steps towards looking more like Jesus and taking steps towards acting more like Jesus. Now, obviously, this is going to mean huge differences for the various students that we serve. But I feel like when we define it like this, we're able to then look at the individual cases and say, okay, well, what does it take for this student who really is so focused on themselves because of the nature of their disability? What does it look like for them to look and act more like Jesus? And when we do this, we're able to say, okay, well, this person's very focused on themselves, and so for them to share a book with another student or with another grace giver, that is a huge monumental step forward in how this person, again, looks and acts like Jesus. For another student, it might be the idea of praying. Praying's a really big struggle and they never want to do it. And then after our lesson one day, we're able to get another student to pray. And so they're taking steps towards looking and acting like Jesus and how they live their lives. And so it's important for us because we can so easily come in here from week to week and hang out with students and do stuff and get frustrated. Why aren't they taking steps forward? It's important for us to define what a win is. And when we define what a win is for us, we're then able to identify it in our students, and we're able to celebrate those victories and then encourage more growth in them. And so a win for us is when a student looks and acts more like Jesus, even if it's just for just a small moment. If a student looks and acts more like Jesus, based off the things that we're teaching them from Scripture, if a student looks and acts more like Jesus, we can count that a victory for the things that we're doing, the people and situations we're surrounding them with, and know that we're doing what God has called us to do to serve these students and their families. So have a great month. Look for the ways this month that we can encourage students to look and act like Jesus, that we can encourage their spiritual growth as they're formed to the likeness of Christ. Have a great month. I'll see you next time.